Hey, good morning, everybody. I have the one and famous Love with me today, who on her small account started with $3,500 on Friday and ended with 16,000. So the first 10 minutes, I'm going to dumb it down and ask her simple questions like, how the hell did you grow a small account so much in one day? Because people are like, oh, she must have invested everything. Oh, she just got lucky in one different play. Well, the market threw up on itself. So the point is she does it every week. So we'll do it real simple. I'm going to ask her easy questions and then we'll talk about the market later on. So first, Love, you started Friday with what?
I think I started Friday with about $3,300, somewhere around that. Just a
Okay,
little.
and how much of that was cash and how much of that were put positions?
So I'd say about half of it was cash, half of it was put positions. Right?
Okay, and Friday started and the market went up starting on Friday. So I'm assuming your put positions that you were in, you just held, and then your extra money, you said
I
what?
increased my put positions.
Okay,
Um,
you increased the same positions you were in.
yes. So actually, what happened on Friday? The week I started with a little over $2,200. Right? And so slowly I had been building up. On Thursday, I decided that I wanted to get into an Amazon put, right? And so Amazon did something crazy in the morning. It went up. I held the put. When it went down, I sold it. Then it spiked up just a little, and I bought different ones, right? I bought more.
Okay, here's the question. Now, here's a great question. Small account. So when you're buying an Amazon put, and I say this because sometimes Amazon puts are like $2,000 a contract, and people can't afford even one of them. What expiration were you in the money? Were you way out of the money? How far out? Can you give me a little detail about what was going on through your head? Because again, people with small accounts are being like, let's say they have $900 and they were looking at Amazon puts. What would you have suggested on Friday? How much should they have spent?
So if you had $900 and you were looking at Amazon puts, honestly, if that was me, I would have chose a different position than I actually chose. What I would have done is I would have had to go out of the money, right? But I would have went out a week. I wouldn't have gotten the ones that expire this next day just because that's just too risky for that amount, right? What I did go out of the money. I did get one that expires the following day, but I had already researched Amazon's stock. I had researched what they had done in the past, and I knew that it wasn't unreasonable to think
Mhm.
that Amazon could move $300. So at the time, I had gotten a 200 or $2,600 put. That's
Right.
the one that I sold the first time on Friday. And then once it spiked up a little bit more, I bought $2,500 puts.
Yeah.
Right? And so my small account still didn't have to spend like over there's no way I was or I was not spending over 1250 for any put whatsoever.
Okay.
That was the one I had from the day before. The ones that I bought during the day, like the ones that were $2,500 puts, I
Mhm.
I got those for like $600.
Okay. So I was early because I was in some AMD puts, and I'll use mine for an example. I paid $1.51, which is a cheaper option, $151. They went down when AMD went up to $92. They went down to $35 each. So I bought them for 151. They went to 35, which is like 75% discount.
So
And then
right
from
then you have
30,
a choice, right? You either have to say, I'm going to cut my losses or I'm going
right.
to buy more. Which
Right.
one?
So yeah, as they're going down, I either said to myself, I'm going to cut my losses, which I did because I have paper hands. Or the other option was when it hit 50 cents, I was going to buy three times as many contracts.
Got it.
So let's just hypothetically say I did the opposite of what I did and I was smarter and bought three times as many contracts. I would have been four contracts, let's say, at $300 total. So $75 on average. Now, these contracts went from $35 when I was correct in AMD went down. They went to $4.40 each. So they went up basically 1,000% from the low. So again, it's about having strategy and then just obviously. So if I had done it the right way, I would have had my $300 worth $1,600. So it would have been a 500% gain. Instead, I took like a 30% loss. So
So
that's just the difference If you scare sell, okay, or let me see if I can point to you, or if you average down correctly, that's the true result. So
That's
people like me buy too many contracts to start.
yeah.
People like this smart one buy one. And if it's down like 40%, she says, okay, cut my losses or average down. Let me buy two more. Me, I jumped in with 2 feet and I'm like, I'm getting out of here because it's Friday and my contracts expire.
So let me tell you guys what I actually ended up having to do on, because we were watching Amazon do not break 2,500 for a long time. So I really did have a choice whether or not I was going to sell for break even or if I wanted to keep it. So I did keep them, but I didn't keep them all the way to the end, right? Once it hit my price target, I sold it. I was like, this is a great amount of money that I just made. Now, had I held them 15 minutes longer, or what I should have done is scaled out.
Yeah, wow.
Sold them
Yeah.
all. I was like, I'm tired. Amazon just now broke 2,500. I'm selling now while my options are in the money. Take that profit, be happy. I didn't 15 minutes later, I would have made twice as much as I did, and that's fine. But what ended up happening is I did buy more contracts, right? When Amazon was spiking, it went up to like over 25.50, I believe.
So you're holding contracts now?
Right now,
Mhm.
no, I don't have no.
Okay, you sold everything.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So what I have now is just a couple things like I'm building a position for June for CVX, which is Chevron. So I believe Warren Buffett copied me because he said something about Berkshire was building a position in Chevron. I was like, I did it first. I don't know what he's talking about. So it's down today. I probably will add to that position. I'm probably not going to sell it only because, again, those calls expire in June.
Okay, just be careful on that position, just to interject, because traders, and when I say traders, I mean big money, they're actually shorting or buying puts on the XLE. So we all like to buy the XLE when it dips in the morning, and it's been good like 90% of the time. But be cautious, because if the market does take a hit, like a further hit, and I hear people talking about SPY going to 400, okay, which would be 2.5% from where it is, or a little 3% from where it is now. If that happens, even the oil companies and energy, they're probably going to take a 4% hit. So if your Chevron's at what?
Even then, I would buy more. I would.
Oh, no. But I'm saying, for anybody watching Love right now going, she can't miss. I'm saying, when you take your first position, do like a Mad alert, put Love's alert on there right now, figure out the June option that she has in or at the money or maybe a little above. And when you see it at $1.50, and then later today it's at $1.20, you know you're getting a 20% discount off one of Love's plays.
That's true. But even, okay, so because I only have 2 options and I would like to have like 10, honestly, I would probably only buy 1 at most this week, maybe 2. And that would mean I would buy them today. But that's just the only call that I'm willing to hold during this turbulent week, because it's going to be turbulent. I feel like the futures already have told you that there could be some huge swings just today alone.
Sure.
And then we have so many catalysts, so many earnings this week. Everybody's expecting things from the Fed and they may not get what they expect. So this isn't a week that I'm going to overtrade. I'm not.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything that I have, I'll probably sell today. I might not even trade tomorrow, but Wednesday is the day that I'll probably trade because of the Fed announcing the rate.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, let's get into the market. I just wanted to see if my position sold here. So 2 things you just mentioned, which I just wanted to point out if people didn't grasp that. You were talking about a June position, which is enough time to be correct. You said when you're fully vested, you'd like 10 contracts or so, and you only have 2 contracts right now. So you're only 20% of your goal of the number of contracts. And then you said, I'll probably only buy maybe 1 or maybe 2 this week. So I'm just showing everybody there's no need, and if you have a longer term expiration, to jump in and be like, I want to buy 100 contracts of Mara or a Bitcoin company because Bitcoin's going to be this by January. No, you buy 1, you wait. And then you mentioned scaling out. So you were saying, I like you, or I generally sell them all at the same time, because I'm like, if I want to sell them, I don't want to going up for
You've been beat up on it and you're like, I have a good profit. I'm taking that. And I'm not mad at it. However, I could have at least left one or two as a runner because I had 6 contracts.
Right. No, but I was just explaining to people, say you have like 4 contracts and you're up like 80% and you're like, I want it to go higher, but I also want to secure profit. Scaling out is what you mentioned. So you might sell 2 of them and hold 2 of them, and then maybe stop loss along the way or something like that. All right. So let's talk about the market going forward today. Let's talk about kind of what we're thinking. I mean, I just want to mention, let's see some stocks. Let's see what's going on. Ooh, that stock is down 9% pre-market. All right, so the SPY is basically flat pre-market. We did have a big dump on Friday, right? The Dow was down over 1,000 points, and tech was probably off what, like 600-700? I don't even know.
Over
So
500 for sure.
let's see. So 900 and 500, it was off. So generally after that, we would have a bounce. Now let's recap. Last week, we bought, then we sold, bought, sold. So, I mean, there are some huge swings,
I
correct?
expect the same this week, honestly. And if for just maybe a minute or two, for those of you guys who kind of feel overwhelmed by what to do and what not to do, you really have to go back to the basics, the ABCs of how to set yourself up for the day, right? If it was me, what I do is after the market, I look at charts. That's when I start looking at stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Going even before that, if you don't know what stocks to put on your watch list, anytime someone mentions a stock in our platform, add it to a watch list. Anytime that you see Matt's alerts, add it to a watch list. So you could have added Redbox last week. You could have added a lot of things. And then you start watching that stock. What do we mean by watching that stock? We mean that look at how it trades. Does it go up in the morning at open and then immediately dive? Does it go up around lunchtime and then like you start to learn how it moves? That's what we mean by watch it. Then you can
Yep.
also zoom out a little bit and look at the trend for 3 months or for a year. Find out if it's cyclical. Does it tend to go up or down in May or June or whatever? Those are the type of things you watch for. And then as you watch, you start to try to predict it. Well, I think that it's going to do this tomorrow morning at open and do right. And then catalog if you're right or not. Once you do that, you get to know the stock. So once you know the stock and how it moves, right, then you can start to trade it. Have a plan. I think based on market conditions, it's going to go up, right, or down. And if the market does this, it goes down, then have both options, calls and puts on your watch list. So when the market does one of the two things, then you buy, right? And have an idea for how much it moves, and then you sell, right? And so that those are the things that you do the night before. So whenever the market opens, I already have a watch list specifically for if it goes up, if it goes down. And then I execute. I don't let anybody else's nonsense like deter me. I have a plan, which is how I know on Friday whether to buy more options or to get out, right? I already had a plan going into the day.
Yeah.
I
All
said,
right, let's speak about your plan for going forward this week. First off, Romeo is going to do a live stream on YouTube like you and I are doing. So everybody hears about Romeo and how he took $84 and made north of 50,000 last year, and he is the Spy King. So that's one announcement. He will be doing it live Wednesday morning on YouTube, and we'll announce it. We'll make it on Twitter. Number 2, I'm only playing the Spy going forward. I've been dead on the SPY, so I can't wait to play the SPY going forward. But let's talk about your strategy, because you were saying your strategy going into Friday. Has your strategy changed this week? And here's let me just clarify. Ready? The Fed is announcing on Wednesday that we're having a 50 basis point hike. The analysts and the people on Wall Street I spoke to said the market already knows that. It's priced in. It's not going to overreact on Wednesday, and they are actually bullish on the market this week. And it makes sense because 410 has been a baseline for the SPY. However, a lot of people think the SPY is going to 400. So your position has always been market spikes, love buys, puts.
that
Has
has
it
been my
changed for this
position
week?
for the entire quarter. It'll probably be my position for the first or the second quarter as well, right? That
Okay,
doesn't mean
until
I
it
don't buy.
changes.
So it doesn't mean I don't buy calls. Like I just told you, the beginning of this session, I go buy the stock. So I am buying calls in Chevron, right?
Mhm.
For June. That doesn't mean, but it's likely if I see a huge spike that I'm going to trade the dip, right? That means that I know it could go back up. So I'm already prepared to take profit, right? So that's just my particular strategy. I make more money that way. But Like Romeo, for instance, he tends to trade the upswing and the downswings. So you can make money both ways. You just have to have a plan. And the most important thing is to secure a good entry. You're not buying on the way, not buying puts. You want to make sure and confirm the top. That's where you get puts, not the bottom when it's already died too much. That's where you buy calls. And so it's all
Right.
about your entry. You can make money both ways, but you don't want to jump the gun. That's how you lose money and blow up accounts.
So what time? I think we're doing that maybe at 11 a.m. Wednesday on our YouTube channel here. So if someone wants to know or hears Romeo's name or has never heard Romeo's name, just set your schedule for 11 a.m. Wednesday. You'll see Romeo come on live. He talks a lot about charts and about support and ceilings of the SPY. So just talking about the SPY right now, because it's bounced off the 410 and we're already at 412 pre-market. Now, I don't pay much mind to pre-market. However, I pay a lot of mind to the 410. So psychology, and then I'll let you decide what you're thinking. Now, here's my psychology. I'm a big institution. I'm going to sell my positions today. What am I going to let happen? Well, I'm going to let the market fix itself, be green like it was on Friday to start, and then I'm going to sell into the green if I'm a big institution and I'm bearish. So that's the thought process. Just because you see the market turn around pre-market and there's a little volume, you don't say, okay, well, that's telling me the market's going to be green today. However, futures started out plus 200 points. So there is definitely a certainty that the market could be green today. And your thoughts?
My thoughts is I expect volatility. If it just went straight up or straight down, that would throw me off. I expect it to do exactly what you just said, right? I think we're going to have huge swings, right? I think we're going to see it go bullish and then drop and then go bullish and then drop again. That's what I expect.
Yeah.
I expect more choppiness. I expect more volatility.
Well, no, you just helped me with some clarity there, because here's what I'm planning on doing today. Now, I said I'm only going to trade the SPY. So I'm going to look for a day to start out like Friday, where the market goes up and spikes. And we're only talking about like 10, 20 minutes in, because if the market is going to change direction, it'll definitely happen by like 10:05 a.m. Is that a good estimate, you think?
Actually, depending on this market, it's crazy. So like Matt is always early. If you guys know that, he is always early. So 10:05. Now I'm saying, okay, anywhere between 10:05 to 10:30, it's going to do something.
Yeah, so it might be closer to 10:30. Okay, I gotcha, because I'm early. I got it. But I already put that in. I factored that in because usually I was thinking 9:35. So I already backed it up 10, 20 minutes. So I'm ahead of the game. I outthought the thinker.
And then around 11, 11 used to be the old time. There's always going to be some sort of fake out either direction. And like it tries to do something else. So I just would be aware of that. That's all.
Right. And we speak about that on the platform. Usually it happens between 11:10 and 11:20. There's a fake out, meaning the market is recovering and it's going to recover, but they'll sell off quick and then it'll recover further. Or the market's dumping and all of a sudden at 10:15, I mean, 11, it looks like it's going to fix itself, but then it dumps even further.
Exactly.
So with that said, here, let me give you my two positions I'm looking at today. Okay. Now, if I think the market's going to be okay or flat or green today and not completely beat up, I am going to enter the XLE. XLE calls. What I'll do is I'll wait for the XLE to dip, and I know it's off already 1% pre-market, maybe more now. I'll wait for the time I think it's going to be the worst, whether it be 10:20, 10:30, 10:50. I'll buy calls. Now, I don't expect the XLE to rebound all the way to maybe where it was Friday, but I will make a quick scalp of 40% or 50% because it tends to move pretty good. As soon as it bottoms, it bounces pretty hard. Whereas if the market is bearish, I will be looking for puts on the SPY. If I see some resistance, which might happen at like 416, if it goes up to 416, I'll be entering puts on the SPY, expecting it to go and test 412 again. So those are my two positions I'm looking at today. And you said you weren't going to trade today, or you are, or if you had to make one trade, like you're looking already, because I know you're looking at your stuff. I can tell.
I am.
What's something that you're excited to see if you're going to be correct today, and maybe you could secure a new position?
Well, okay, so I would love to see AMD turn green today, because I would like to buy puts.
Okay, you want to buy puts on AMD? Gotcha. Okay, which is crazy because let's talk about chip sectors real quick, because it's interesting you brought that up. There was a chip company that reported ON Semiconductor, and they crushed it.
which is good. I
Right.
want.
So they're up 4% pre-market. Okay. And AMD is flat pre-market, and NVIDIA, where's NVIDIA? Oh, there we go. Down 0.33% pre-market. So these are the leaders, and yet they are selling them even when chip companies come out with good earnings, like Western Digital crushed it, and they just keep selling it. So you think the AMD is going lower? How low can you see AMD going to?
I would be in $80 puts.
So you think there's a possibility it could go under $80?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Like
so you're
75, 73 maybe.
okay. Okay, I mean, for AMD to go to 73,
Now, keep in
15,
mind, people,
20%,
they
I mean, we're
report.
talking about the SPY going to 380 then. If the SPY goes to yes, yes,
Mm-mm.
that's the correlation. We
Yeah.
disagree?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that what's going to be the catalyst for AMD is them reporting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if the SPY even sells off just a tiny bit. I think there's been an overreaction to earnings no matter what.
And when does AMD have earnings? Just for those of you like me that aren't that smart. Oh, they're there, May 3rd. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're right.
that's
I have
cool.
no clue. They could crush it and go to like 90, but
Yeah. So yeah, you know what the IVs? Let me just check the IVs on the yeah, the IVs. Oh, they're not so terrible. Won't be like an IV crush.
yeah.
Okay, excellent. So we've talked about our positions that we're interested in. We spoke about how you took your small account. What are you doing with your small account? Now, you went from 3,000 to 16,000 on Friday. Did you leave 16,000 in your small account, or did you pull out some?
So normally what I do is I completely start over in the next week. If I had a good week, I trade between 1,000 and 2,000. If I had a bad week, I might even start with only 250 or 500, just because, hey, you got to build it back up. You don't want to, right? Because I did crush it last week, I told Romeo that I was going to try to practice restraint and to see if I knew how to trade
You
a
left
large.
it in.
I left it in. I did.
Excellent. Well, here's my next question. It was a follow-up question. Imagine if you hadn't been pulling out money from your account and you're still crushing it, your account would probably be north of $250,000. I mean, just being.
If you talk about, I was looking at it from last year. Remember,
Yeah.
I'd blown up 1 million accounts last year.
Sure.
So I was the queen of blowing up her account, which
Right.
means I was also very good at coming back, right?
Sure.
So this was we're almost to that time where I took it from, I blew it up and I had $856 and I took it to like $54,000.
Yeah, I remember that.
4 weeks. I looked up the picture just this weekend, was like, oh, we're about at that time. So can I redeem myself again like that? I would like to see, because had I not oversold, paper handed those Amazon puts, it would be over 40,000 right now, just from Friday.
Right.
So we'll see. I'm gonna try it, people.
Yeah, I know, and everybody understands Friday was an extreme case. The market started out up here and the SPY dropped like 3%, and Love was on the correct side. So again, her strategy, which has been the same for 3 weeks, is as the market spikes or it's green, now she will buy puts. Now, here's the thing. If the market is having a green day, which I'm not saying it's going to yet today, but if there is a green day, understand you're losing time. So if you're going to enter puts and you think the market's going to continue to be strong, because on green days, we see it at the strongest, like end of day, that's when I might enter my puts if that were the case. So you have different scenarios.
Yeah. Remember, I prepare the day before for both scenarios. And so if at 3:00 today, it starts to go in the opposite direction, I'm already thinking about tomorrow. And I also have another rule, right? If I'm choosing to play one, I'm going to use the Romeo rule. I'm only going to enter in one. I don't care how big my account is. I'm never going to buy more than 2 at one time, ever. And so that I'm going to ease into it. 2, I don't buy weeklies in general, but if I do buy weeklies, I absolutely never buy them past Wednesday, ever. Because
okay, so let's just recap those for anybody that stayed with us this long, or people watching it that are going to watch it this week. You crush your accounts. You never, ever, ever buy more than 2 contracts at a time.
Ever. No.
Now, say you buy 2. When are you allowed to buy the next 2? Like 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours?
No, not even the same day.
Not even. So that's the point I knew you were going to say. That's the point I wanted to make. because me, who struggle, even though I have such good strategies sometimes, I buy 20, I'll buy 30 more 10 minutes later, and loves buying 2. And percentage-wise, you're crushing me. I'll admit that, no doubt. So that's great. And then you also said
buy more, like if you're buying like 10 or 8 or whatever, that's going to be a rare situation. That's almost never going to happen, but it could.
Yeah.
On Friday, I told you I had 6 Amazon puts. That's more than 2, but that was a rare situation. That's not something I practice. And so in general, that's just a rule. You stick to it unless the market is telling you, hey,
I usually call it a light bulb moment, but I have a new one. I'm going to call it a slap moment, a slap in the face, because I buy too many contracts. I'll buy 20, and then the shit will go down.
Yeah.
And then it goes down. Listen, I'm off 4%, and I say 4%. What the hell? Let me buy 20 more. So at the same time, if I bought my first contract, you're probably waiting for it to go down 20% to buy your 2 contracts. So that makes you, just everybody that's out there, understand when you have that eagerness to buy a contract or to buy 5 or 10, and you hear people talking about, I have 144 contracts. If you only buy 1, it makes so much more sense, or 2, and they can be cheap contracts. $26. Okay, I bought 1 for $26. It's down to $22. I bought 1 more. That's it. You don't want to load up, right?
I can tell you, my reason for buying 2 and not 1 sometimes is I don't want to give myself FOMO. Like people ask, when do you sell? When do you sell? I leave so much profit on the table. I do this. Well, if you have 2 contracts, right, then you can scale out. You can take profit and leave a runner. Or like I said with CVX, I want at least 10 by the time I get to June, or even before that I may sell. Hey, if it's profitable, then I know that when I do sell, I don't have to sell them all at once. I can sell 2, right? Set a stop loss for another 2, sell another 2, or whatever. And so if you tend to have FOMO, right, you tend to say, I hold on too long or I sell too quick, then maybe instead of buying 1, you should buy 1 when you buy it and then buy another one like an hour or 2 later, right? And so you're planning to buy 2 that day, but you don't buy them both at the same time. That way, whenever you sell, you at least can hold 1 and then sell 1 and take profit.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. So everybody, we've simplified our talk today. So hopefully you guys will share this video with your friends, because Loves basically broke down her strategy, what she does, even when she's profitable or not profitable. Had a tough week, start the account with 500 the next week. Had a good week, start with 1,500. She's crushing it. So please, and Romeo, who's like a mentor, is going to be doing a live stream at 11 a.m. So please talk about that. That's going to be Wednesday. And everybody, have a fabulous day of trading, right?
I might show up on Romeo's live stream. I just wanted to.
Oh boy.
But
I'll be spectating. All right. See you guys. See everybody. Thank you for watching. Please give us thumbs up. That's